let you know that this webinar presentation is also being recorded, and it will be available at unitedgamesmarketingscam.com after the presentation is over, so anybody can go back and view it, and they will also be able to hear your questions. Peter, how are you? You registered like twice, Peter. How you doing, bud? So you guys should be able to see the screen. I'm going to actually unmute you now because I want to know if you can see the screen. We were having some trouble the other day. So unmute you. Peter, you're unmuted. Jessica, you're unmuted. Mackenzie, you're unmuted. If you don't have a speaker, that's okay. Jessica, it looks like you're the only one that has a microphone. Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Those of you who don't have a microphone attached to your computer, if you would like, you can call in on the phone, and you'll be able to hear that way as well and talk. This is actually a screenshot from today, or from last night, excuse me, at 10:40 p.m. Those of you who know who Mark Manji is, the Chief Creative Officer at United Games, and he had sent me a request on LinkedIn, which I of course accepted, and this was my first message to him, as you can see. So Mark, I'm going to reach out to you as a courtesy only because I have a lot of questions, just like most of you guys do, and you know, there have been dozens and dozens of red flags that have come up, and I wanted him to know that I was willing to drop any pending actions that I have against the company if they would just sit down with me and they would answer questions and shed some light on things and be willing to make the necessary changes so that this company can be a solvent company. Because I'm gonna, you know, like many of you know that I've already told you this, I thought that this concept was absolutely brilliant. I jumped on it just head in, and it wasn't for maybe a week and a half that the flag started to come up and I started to ask questions. So when you know, when that happened and they wouldn't answer them, that's when I started to investigate. But you can see I'm very nice in this. I said, you know, every legal counsel, everyone that I have questioned though concerning this company has point blank told me that it is a classic Ponzi scheme, and that even goes for my chief legal department, my entire legal department at Nerium. They reviewed the compensation structure to first decide whether or not it was an affiliate program or a multi-level marketing program, and then second to decide whether or not it was even legal. Would you like to be an adult and discuss this? I think that is a pretty fair question. You know, I asked he's not 6 years old, he's not my nephew, and I didn't really get a response. So I see it again. There's the first message, and it took him, he responded at 1:50 a.m. finally, and he said, I cannot get into the discussion in detail. I hadn't asked any questions, but the NFL, the MLB, and the MLS give us thumbs up. Do you think we're a Ponzi scheme? Okay, first of all, guys, I'm going to bring to your attention that those organizations don't give you a thumbs up. It requires mounds and mounds of contracts and paperwork and lawyers. They don't just give you a call and say, hey, go for it, because they want their piece. He said, we're built upon a straight affiliate sales commission structure that pays 9 levels deep, not a network or a direct marketing model. That is completely false. If you were not getting paid on a direct marketing or in a direct sales model, you would not be getting paid off of anyone in your organization. You would get like a one-time referral fee for recruiting them, just like you do at Amazon if you recruit an affiliate, or Ebates, or any of those other places. You would receive ongoing commissions. And that's one of the things that separates direct sales from affiliate programs and things of that nature, is that with indirect sales or multi-level marketing, you are actually going to generate a residual income, a lifetime income, if you're good and if the company is solvent. And really, if you think about it, and all the telephone calls that you guys have been on and all the webinars, that's all they harp about, right? That you're going to be able to build this incredible income for the rest of your life and is going to take care of you and your family for generations to come. And that's not the case. And he says, plus our affiliates do not have to pay for any auto ship product like in a multi-level marketing company. Well, you're right, because you have no product. In fact, they have no app. They don't even have an app. And I can pull up the pictures if you guys want me to of all the ads that they put out originally, saying the app would be out at the beginning of September. And now they're saying end of October, perhaps. But what you do have to pay for is you're paying the initial, I guess they just increased it to $39.99 for the technology suite, but you still have to pay almost $10 a month as an affiliate to do what? Because if they're going to discontinue the affiliate program as well, why are you having to pay? Do the players have to pay? No. So they are selling. There is a requirement, a monthly auto ship in a sense, but you're actually paying for the service. I guess I just need to make sure. We've had some people join us. I'm just going to say this a couple times. If this is for independent affiliates of United Games only, if you are associated on a corporate level whatsoever with the company, you need to disconnect from this presentation now. You can watch it after I upload it online. Okay? So my comment to him, obviously, the official confirmation that I received from my friend, who is one of the chief legal counsel. He's one of the top attorneys for the NFL. I've known him for a very long time. Mackenzie, who is on the webinar with us right now, she knows that. He said that not a single attorney in his department within that franchise has agreed to give them any sort of licensing authority. This is speaking for the NFL. I don't know about the MLB or the MLS. But the NFL has not given them any inclination whatsoever that they will receive licensing authority. And additionally, and this is where it gets a little bit more fun. Additionally, yep, right there. He said it was either 2 or 3. I believe it was 3. They have been sent 3 cease and desist letters so that they could avoid litigation on part of the NFL. The NFL doesn't play around. If you want to put their name on a T-shirt, you're going to pay for it. You pay for everything with the sports authorities. So what makes United Games believe that they're going to be able to have this quote-unquote billion-dollar app, but skirt around the fact that there is licensing and legal ramifications from them using copyrighted and registered materials? I don't know how they think they're going to get away with that. So just like when they were claiming that the creator of Madden NFL was developing the app, they're making false claims in this regard as well. For those of you who weren't on the original presentation, and I'm going to go through it again really quickly as well, but one of my very good friends, her father, actually, and that's how I found out, that's one of the first red flags that came up to me, is I sent her a video. I sent her the video to look at, and she immediately contacted me, and she's like, these people are lying. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And she said, well, my dad is the one that created Madden NFL. And if you go to Wikipedia and you search for Joe Yarborough, you will see that he is the original creator of Madden NFL. Now, I don't care if EA Sports picked up after the fact, but for a long time they were claiming that the creator of Madden NFL is the one that was developing their app. And Joe originally said he was going to sue. I just think he's so old and tired he's not going to now. But regardless, it's this whole bending of the truth that we see with the company that is really one of my major alarming factors. Okay, so and you can see here I'm being nice to Mark. I'm not saying that what he's told me is incorrect or what he's been told is incorrect, but I want him to really acknowledge a chance that if he really believes this honestly, that there is a chance that perhaps his superiors are lying to him. And this is the end of the conversation. Oh, it's that Dustin Mitchell. Yeah, It's that one, the one that yeah. I don't really exactly know how he could confuse that, but especially when I'm asking these questions, I should have recognized your name. Goodbye, and I don't expect I will be ever communicating with you again. I don't expect he'll be communicating with me again either because they refuse to answer any questions that I ask. He doesn't say he doesn't expect that I won't respond to him because I contact them all the time. So, Mark, I just want you to be aware that I have the federal lawsuit ready, and as soon as they bill everyone that $39.99, it'll be ready to go because at that point there will be victims. They're claiming 250,000 affiliates in that regard. So, it was my hope that they would work it out with me, but since I would be willing to fly out there, sit down with them in their fake office, discuss all my concerns just like adults, but they don't want to do that. They would rather defraud and steal, which if you take that 250,000 people, even at that $30 mark or $39 mark, they're going to make about $7.5 million off of people who legitimately believed in them. And I think, guys, that's what pisses me off the most about all this. I'm R-rated, so piss is probably the least offensive word you're going to hear from me tonight. But it infuriates me when people who are more or less, in this regard, helpless, or that they are putting their faith in a pipe dream. I don't know, I know that they have the calculators and they show the numbers and whatnot, but let's take the Pokemon craze for an instance. Do you realize that people were playing that game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Okay, let's say they just let's just for argument's sake say that they do get licensing authority from the NFL. The maximum amount that anybody is going to be playing that game on a weekly basis is going to be 2, maybe 3 nights a week, maybe for a couple of hours, but not 24/7. So they cannot even come close to saying that the revenue being generated by this app is going to even rival Clash of Clans or Pokemon, where there's no set schedule. You can play that whenever you want. Okay? So I asked him if I could show him something. And once again, he didn't respond. So I said, and at this point, I start to get pissed. I said, my process server has actually been trying to find you all, but you don't have any legitimate offices or business. So, Mark, I'm going to appeal to you one last time to allow me to help you make the necessary changes to this company so that it can be great, because I do believe the concept is an amazing concept. It's just not being executed properly. Otherwise, I am going to take his silence as an admittance of guilt, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that both he and the rest of his team, which I consider con artists, they're brilliant con artists, but I still consider them con artists, that they receive absolutely no money from anyone that they're about to hurt. I will personally bankrupt myself paying lawyers and suing these individuals to make sure. Well, Peter, I'm going to use you as an example, actually, because you recruited a lot of people into this program, and you just like me, just like I'm sure a lot of people are afraid of losing face. This is your reputation that you put on the line. They don't take that into consideration. And I believe that at this point in my life, and especially with my experience in the industry, that it is my responsibility to look after those of you who do not know proper laws or whatever it might be. So, today, as soon as I started posting that I was doing this webinar, I don't know. I don't even want to go back and count how many messages I got and how many people cussed me out and just leave them alone and things like that. Well, that's fine, but I mean, let's take some things into consideration, guys. I have an organization that I recruited as well. I have a moral obligation to take care of those individuals. So I don't really care if they want to continue building United Games or not. And in fact, if you look at it in this lead capture pages that we have up, if people ask me to help them, I will help them because they are choosing that's what they're choosing to do. They're choosing to believe the pipe dreams and the hype over legitimate facts. But I do promise that I'm going to do everything in my power, even if it takes my last dime, to look after you guys and to make sure that this doesn't come back on you in a negative light. Because you can't get, in my opinion, I do not think it is fair for you to take the heat because 5 people in Utah wanted to make a hell of a lot of money and lie to you. And this is where I start to get sarcastic at the bottom because most of them are LDS, members of the Latter-day Saint Church, or Mormon. So perhaps you could talk to your bishop or stake presidents of how your religion views stealing millions of dollars from people who are only guilty of buying into a fictitious pipe dream. I mean, I guarantee you, every single one of you on this presentation tonight, you got excited about the game because you saw that there was income potential in it if it if it were developed correctly, correct? Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be putting the massive amounts of time into it. But you know, and really, that's the majority of people's loss is the time. People, the $40 isn't that huge of a deal, even though it's going to equate to a lot of money when you have everyone being billed. It's the loss of time. And I myself am pissed about the amount of time that I put into this, and it was only 2 weeks before I figured out. And I actually did do this today. I actually wrote to one of their apostles and made him aware of the situation, President Oaks, because he used to sit on the Utah Supreme Court, and I'm just wondering what his take would be if people in his church are so happy to take advantage of other people. And my last is, I hope that you send this to your leaders, and it's the civil cover sheet from the lawsuit. By show of hands, would you guys like to see it? You can use a little, all right, perfect. Let me pause the screen for just a second. I've got to find it on my horrible desktop. And so far I put a lot of money into the lawsuit aspect of this, but I'm really getting to the point where uh, just the fact that people are being so, I'm not going to say inconsiderate to me because they don't want to give up on a dream, and I understand that completely. But I'm beginning to wonder why I'm doing this. So let's see, where are we? Right one. Wrong cover sheet. Give me 1 second, guys. I will find it. Civil cover sheet. There's about 185 pages to this complaint. So I'm going to actually show you guys a couple of documents first. I'm going to first show you the filing information for United Games, because a lot of people say it's not United Games marketing, it's just United Games, and that there are multiple owners and things like that. Before I even started investigating any of this, I went to the state of Utah's site, the Secretary of State site, and I pulled all the filing information for the United Games filing. Now, here's something that I would like for you before I even show you this, something I really want you to question. If they had been planning this for months, as they claim, I think that the actual filing would have happened a little bit differently. Number one, they wouldn't have had to change addresses multiple times, and it would not have been filed during the time period it is. Hold on, guys. I am trying to find it. Let's see if you can see all these forms on here. It's the video, pre-launch, motion for. Here, actually, I'm going to let you see, just so you can see how many legal documents I have on the screen. So, I mean, there's a lot of them. So let's see, pre-trial motion, motion. Right here, we'll bring this one up first. So we'll go here. So you can see this. So this is the civil cover sheet. Dustin Craig Mitchell et al. So I'm making this available as a class action suit. I was originally, and I'm sorry guys, I'm starting to get tired. I was originally accused of having this be a financial thing for me because I just wanted the money. If this is a class action, I'm not going to get anything out of it. In fact, I'm going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars because of legal fees alone. But anyone who does want to come on board in this suit, they're more than welcome to, as long as they're an affiliate. Defendants, you can see that there are 5 names specifically. United Games Marketing LLC, Jeffrey B. Henderson, who is the only owner of the LLC. Natalin is not an owner, neither is Roger or anyone else. They are only employees, or however he has it listed. And I have listed John Zaire, who is an affiliate because of his false income claims and things of that nature. And then, of course, Roger Ulmer, who is the one who originally called me and told me that they would work things out. I guess he's your lead affiliate or whatever you want to call it now. So if we continue to look down the page, it's a matter of a federal question. I'm a citizen of the state. We are filing in the Eastern District of Texas in federal court, so they'll actually have to come here instead of Utah, which is a little bit better. And specifically, let me get on my marker. I like markers. Here we go. There's a lot of stuff I would like to check off on here because they're in violation of a lot of it. But as far as personal property, other fraud, which is deceptive business practices, that is that's where we group the majority of it in. Now, there's a lot of other aspects that will be brought up in court, but that's where we're mainly focused. And let me highlight this stuff. If you guys would like to take a pen, I would be more than happy to wait for you. We have, what did I touch? You do not have to be smart to know how to do this, guys. Okay, we'll just highlight it again. Okay, so these are the U.S. civil statutes under which I am filing and that they have violated. So the U.S. Code 1541 through 58. These are the specific laws that that they were in violation of the last time I did the presentation, and that they have not rectified. If you would like to write these down, go back and look at them, come back and look at the video later, you're more than welcome to. I encourage you to do so. Here you see that I have checked that it is a class action suit demanding $150 million and a jury. Doing this for a couple of reasons, and I believe I owe you explanations, and that's why I'm going a little bit more in depth. In this industry, it's governed by really 2 major authorities. FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, being the main one, and then sometimes the Security and Exchange Commission. They get involved. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the multi-level marketing industry and the judgment that was just handed down concerning Herbalife, but it was a $200 million judgment, and they were not anywhere close to violating these statutes for $200 million. So will we get a $150 million judgment? It is very possible if this ends up going to litigation. Will we see it? No, I don't believe so. It is my opinion, and at this point I'm going to say my opinion, not based on fact, because I've not obviously seen any of their financials, but I believe that they are using the affiliate program in order to be able to finance the app. Otherwise, it would be already be out. Now, I'm going to go into how I know some of that in just a little bit, as far as to the expenses and things like that, because like I said in the last webinar, I do have a I do have a contingency plan for all of you. It's not, you know, here I'm going to upload this too in case you guys want to. I think I should be able to upload it. Let's see. I might have to do it later. Handouts. I can. All right, guys. Here, I'll upload the civil cover sheet so you don't even have to write that stuff down. U.S. civil cover sheet. Here we go. Drag and drop. Come on, guys. I said drag and drop. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. Do any of you have questions at this time? Peter, I'm unmuting your phone too in case you do, because you might as well ask them now. Okay. Has this at least put you to rest as to what my intentions and purposes are in actually doing this lawsuit? If you don't want to talk, you can raise your hand. Okay. So if anyone comes at you and they accuse me and they want to go off on you and try to accuse you of you know, being friends with me, and this is a financial issue, trust me, this is not a financial issue. If anything, this is a burden on me at this point, both on a stress level and on a financial level. I don't have to do this. I could have easily walked away, but I do believe in doing everything I can to help you guys. All right, choose file. Here we go. Upload. Why is it not uploading? Do you guys see it on your handout section? Is it uploading a document?
No.
It's not. I really don't know how I've been successful in this industry when I can't even operate the GoToWebinar control panel. Sometimes I can't even operate the clicker though, so that should not be a big deal. There we go. Let's try this one. It might be because it's not a PDF. I'll upload in a little bit. So as far as the, let's find the, oh, no, I wanted to go through this with you guys. Specifically the, oh, it is uploading. Okay. I wanted to go through and show you the federal laws, the Federal Trade Commission laws. You can go to ftc.gov and download these. They're extremely extensive, so you don't have to go through all of them, but I'm just going to generally point out a couple of the things where you can look. And if they, you know, if people want to bring anything up. So here we go, Federal Trade Commission laws. Specifically, Title 16, Part 436, okay? So I want to read these statutes to you exactly so you understand where I'm coming from in this, okay? A lot of this has to do with franchising, things of that nature. Why is this not closing? Cancel. There we go. Let's bring up the lawsuit again so I don't have to. There we go. Civil complaint. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So 41 through 58. Specifically, 437 is where we're going to go. So we're going to scroll down here. Where are we? 436. And I can send this to you as well if you want, or email it to you. Oh, by the way, everyone that's on this presentation tonight, I do have a packet of information for you. Some of it comes from the Federal Trade Commission, etc. It's on small business scams and how to avoid those and how to be able to identify Ponzi schemes and things of that nature. And so you just email me your mailing address at the end of this where is this? At the end of this. I will be more than, why is this locked? What in the hell? Okay, well guys, you don't get to see this. So, but it is there. So if Federal Trade Commission, this is franchise law, but there's a specific section. and you'll be able to see where we're looking at, where I want you to look specifically is under the deceptive business practices part. So why deceptive business practices? To claim that the app is going to have $200 billion in revenue by 2017, and that it's similar to Candy Crush, Game of War, Clash of Clans. Those make over $4 million per day, and they do, and we already covered that. But this in itself is a false income claim. September 2016 is not going to be out in September 2016. We look at Ricky Lumpkin, people using pictures of, once again, NFL associate people that aren't even affiliated with the program. This is one of my favorites. Football fans needed, soccer fans needed, cricket fans needed, earn $3,000 to $5,200 every month by joining and using this app. Like I said, I don't know how many of you guys have actually run the figures, but I had an organization, a fairly large one, before I was terminated. And I was terminated. I didn't quit United Games. I was terminated the day that they found out that I was filing federal suit. But let's take, my organization, for instance, and I'm a networker just based on this, okay? Let's say with this organization that I had, on a monthly average, let's say they played every single game, okay? They're out there, they're hammering it, they're playing every single game. I would not make a full-time income. I don't know what your definition of a full-time income is, but I was talking to somebody the other day, and if I'm not making $100,000 a year, it's not worth my time. I don't mean for that to sound pretentious in any way. It's just not. But you have little, let's see if we can scale this. We'll zoom in. And none of this stuff is corporately approved. None of this comes from United Games, and that's one of the reasons why they're actually able to get away with some of it. But if you share with 100 friends, and those people share with 7 of theirs, who share with 5 of theirs, who share with 2, you're going to have 1,100 or 11,000 players. Number one, I've been in this industry for an extremely long time. I have never approached 100 people and had 100 people say yes. It doesn't happen. Statistically, you're going to be at about 10 to 15% will say yes. My recruiting ratio is a little bit higher just because of how long I've been doing it, but that's unrealistic. If you go and talk to 100 people right now, they're not going to say yes. But they're going to show you this income statement based on that because they want you to get excited. So if they average $7 a month in app purchases, which I don't know. I mean, when I do play games, which is extremely rare, maybe it's because I'm Jewish, but still, I don't purchase anything in the apps. I'll watch one of the little videos so I can get points instead, and I don't get paid for the video. United Games would get paid for the advertising, not you. You would be paid 10%. You'll make $7,847 a month. That's what they're trying to tell you you're going to be making. Impossible. That's absolutely impossible. It's not going to happen. Unrealistic. It's a false income claim, and it's deceptive business practice. It gets your hopes up, and you start believing that something's going to happen that it's not going to happen. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I am definitely not a dream stealer in that regard. If people are involved in other network marketing companies, things of that nature, I don't even approach them about Nerium or any of my companies because I want them to do everything they can to be successful in that company before I approach it. Because I know if they jump from that company to mine, they're going to jump from mine to another one. It's just the way of the world. So I would much rather support them in those aspects than try to steal them. I'm not a dream stealer. And people who are like that really piss me off, actually. So we have there's apps coming to you September 2016. Get in the game. I had somebody that was on Facebook just a little while ago. Where's the picture? Who he was yelling at me for using United Games graphics, but it wasn't a United Games graphic. In fact, a lot of the graphics that you guys use, they were developed by my graphic design people. Like that one, for instance, I added some stuff to that today just because I knew it would upset the corporate office when they saw it. But we come into like this stuff. This picture, once again, that was developed by us. Just because you erase a couple things on them, it doesn't mean it gives you intellectual property. But I don't, ultimately care. It's not about any of that. Where are we going? I wanted to show you guys some more. I want to show you a letter. Oh, here it is. United Games State Documents, Utah. Expedited. Now, we started recruiting June 1 for the affiliate program, okay? Supposedly, this business has been in the making for an extremely long time, right? So it wasn't filed until May 25th, 2016. It had to be expedited, okay? Because they had been, supposedly, they had been created their operating agreements in April. Okay, so let's scroll down a little bit. The registered agent, Paul MacArthur, at 3319 North University Avenue, Provo, Utah. We've attempted to have him serve there. We can't find him. Okay. The only owner of this company, Jeffrey B. Henderson. There was no collateral, nothing filed with the state. So all he did was pay his filing fee, which was $115, and then a processing fee of $37. And then he's an LLC. And then scroll down a little bit more. Then we had to move it again. But you see here, it is United Games Marketing. I want to point out to you guys this part. I didn't do this in the last one. Company's principal office address, 463 East, 1450 North, Orem, Utah. Not Provo like they claim, not that big office building like they claim. But I want to, let's see if we can pull up on Google Maps. This is an important aspect. I think you guys need to see this because it makes me question everything else that they may be lying about. If you have to lie about your offices, if you have to lie, I mean, that's absolutely retarded. It's not something that you should lie about. But I also have never in my life been around a multi-million-dollar company that had to rent office space for $50 a week. Have you guys? I don't see Geico in, doing that. So here, this is the registered office. Where we go? What do we do? Oh no, we definitely don't want to go there. Zoom here. It's his house. Multi-million-dollar company, but registered as house. Now let's. I don't have access to the United Games.co site anymore. They took me away. Let's try and see if I can get a full picture from there. Sign in. Mackenzie, on your little text module, just give me your email and your password real quick so I can pull something up, please. Either in the chat or the question asked part, it doesn't matter. You guys have any other questions at this point while we're doing this? Okay. Oh, they canceled your affiliation too. They've canceled a lot of people who are affiliated with me. Here. Well, I don't have the picture, but the if you go and you pull it and you go to Google, you put it in as a Google search, you'll pull up that it's part of the Regis, Provo, Utah, or is it was South Jordan actually? Excuse me. Because I went by there. Affordable office spaces. Here we go. Let's see if we can find the building. Location. Might not be able to find it, guys, but it is on there. Let's see, quick code. No, it is this phase. I have to put in everything. And once again, guys, I apologize that this is taking a little long and I'm going a little slower, but I just I want to make sure that, because I'm not doing another one of these again. It's we're either just going to go right to court or because it's not worth my time. All right. Corporate workplace solutions. Here. Aha. Boy, that sure does look familiar, doesn't it? Now, I don't know about you, and I don't know where they held the meetings with the people who say they went out there to meet with everyone. But when I pull this picture, and you're more than welcome to do the exact same thing, go and put it in Google searches and pull up the address. Uh, this is not the sort of I guess this isn't the sort of image that they were projecting a completely different image than what they actually are. And I would have appreciated it so much more if they would have just said, you know, we don't have a lot of capital right now, so and we really don't need the space in that regard. But then, you know, when I started looking at the CFO, for instance, who isn't a full-time CFO, he teaches community college and he has a bookkeeping company. I've never met a bookkeeper in charge of a multi-billion-dollar company. The same goes for if you search any of the executives, go on LinkedIn, etc. None of them really have experience running anything, and maybe that's why they didn't want to answer my questions. Um, I realize, guys, so that sometimes I can be an asshole. I realize I can be intimidating, but I'm not doing it out of spite. I'm actually legitimately doing it because I want to make sure that you all are taken care of. And in doing so, these are the steps that I've taken. I have hired a development team to actually create an app that will do everything that United Games originally claimed they would do, but a whole lot more. And the I'm not going to give you a non-disclosure agreement or make any statements like that, but I will tell you what it's going to do and how long it's going to take. Um, and hopefully maybe when we file a suit in the courts that they'll give us the network, because right now I believe United Games, their only asset is the network that you guys have worked your asses off building. But there's a lot of different things that we have to take into consideration when we look at that. Number one, a lot of the people that are in your network and your organizations, they aren't even in the United States. Now, the app is supposed to launch at the end of October, but they don't have any systems in place in order for you all to be paid. Um, my company, Network Marketing Incorporated, some of you are familiar with it, we're a very large distributor support company for the entire direct sales industry. We're one of the only suppliers for the DSA, which is the Direct Sales Association, and we work with a lot of companies. If you are part of Mary Kay and you order business cards from their back office, my company prints them. We do software development, so we can track commissions and the whole nine yards. We do a lot of different things, event promotions, and we actually do have a payment system in place. But before we can even issue cards to a company, for instance, let's say we'll take what's under a client. Why is this slipping my mind? It starts with an M. Whatever. It starts with an M. It's in Utah as well. Before we can even issue cards to anybody or pay them anything, we have to have everything in place for tax benefits. Their social security number, their EIN, their address, that has to be verified, put into the system. So if you meet somebody, or if you honestly believe that the app's going to launch the beginning of October and you're going to start getting paid immediately, you're crazy. And then on top of that, you have these people in all these other countries. I mean, it is impossible right now with the structure that they have to be able to even compensate the individuals that they are promising are going to get paid. It can't happen. It is just, it is ludicrous for them to even claim it, but they still do because people want to believe in a dream. People, they really want this. And I'm going to do my best to be able to give it to you. And it's going to take me some time. This is regardless of whether or not anything happens on the financial front. I have already approached investors and developers, etc. We've partnered with DCM, which is a venture capital firm, as for the app development, as well as BlackBerry. I'm going to explain to you why I went with BlackBerry. BlackBerry is the most secure device as far as cellular devices go on the planet. And there's an extremely, I mean, the entire reason I went with them is because I'm looking at sports and I look at trends. I don't look at what I can do as quickly as possible. So, whereas United Games was saying we're going to launch with the NFL and it's going to be great, I looked at this on a worldwide basis, and soccer is the most watched sport. And the majority of the countries that watch soccer, sports gambling is also legal. And if you want to gamble using your phone, what better company to partner with than one that's absolutely secure and can develop an app so that people would be able to participate in that aspect as well. So it's not just watching commercials and getting tokens that I want to pay you on. So I sat down and I took the concept that originally I had been told by United Games they were going to develop. And if you want to hear what I was originally told, go to United, I believe it's United Games Marketing, or maybe just United Games, but United Games, one of the two, .dustinmitchell.net, and you can hear the original phone call that I did with Scott Brewster and with John Zaire, because I was on fire. I was excited just like you guys. But we are, and I do have in place, and I am legitimately, I can say it legally, working with the original creator of Madden NFL, because he helped me put together this development team. I am going to develop an app for you. Powered by people, players will be able to engage virtually worldwide, not just by calling a couple of plays, but actually being socially interactive using a gaming gateway. You're not going to just have to wait for your team to come and play on Sunday. You will actually have an interface that you can be able to go to on the web. And let's say that your son's playing football. in 2 weeks, and you and a lot of your friends want to play football with them. You'll actually be able to enter that into the system, and it'll be uploaded so that you can play local games as well. So this, and I don't know if we're going to call it View or not. It's just something I came up with off the top of my head, but it's going to allow larger engagement of players and uh, qualified individuals, not just anybody who wants to sign up as an affiliate. But qualified individuals will be given the opportunity to more or less be ambassadors for this, for the app, and be able to initially share it. And you'll earn weekly commission checks based on overall network gameplay, on advertising, on views. If you want to be able to order, they're actually even putting in a part of the app to where if you want to order pizza, we're going to contract with a pizza delivery company to where you can order pizza from the app and you'll get paid for it. So that's where you're going to get full-time income, not from people buying a couple of tokens and watching a couple of videos. It's legitimate engagement in social interaction. This is going to take us a while. My developers told me point blank that it is going to, best case scenario, be ready for beta testing of October of next year. So we're almost 12 months away, and that's beta testing, and that's best case scenario. And that's also not with all the provisions I want in this. But so it's going to take a while to get everything in play. It's going to take a lot of time for me to be able to get the licensing required in order to be able to put those on the app. Let's say theoretically that United Games does come out with an app next month. I'm proud of them. They're only a month late, but they will be shut down immediately. They will be sued immediately for infringement because they are not paying the NFL. It's the way of the world. So I don't, and as far as I know, they don't have legal counsel. I have not been able to reach their attorney. My attorneys have not been able to reach their attorney. So I don't even know, what's going on in that sense. But like I told a few of you, and so now it's officially made public and it's going to be put out on the web. I have made provisions to be able to take care of all of you. It's just going to take a while. Here's the reality of the situation. Most people aren't going to wait around a year or a year and a half for this to materialize. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to move on to other things, and you might be stuck sitting around waiting here, and nothing's going to happen. I know, Peter, you said you had an organization of like 66 people. How many of those people are just going to sit around and do nothing for a year and a half, hoping that a app comes out when they've already been told once that it's not going? I mean, they've already been lied to once. So what's keeping them from being lied to again? And that's where I want to come to you and tell you that if you need me for any reason to talk to these people, any of your affiliates, I am more than happy to do so. I will share with them what has happened. Let them know that it's not your fault. It's not. I hope none of the people that I recruited think that it's my fault. It's just I acted out of excitement. I jumped really, really fast. But as soon as the signs came up, I'm doing my best to try to protect you guys. Do you have any questions at this point before I move on a little further? Okay. So yeah, we're looking at about a year and a half on that side. What you do in the meantime, is completely up to you. I'm not going to sway you one way or the other to go and do something or to give up. It's going to be a decision that you need to make personally, and it's just not the type of person I am. I don't try to convince people to do anything. I mean, if you look, look at this picture, guys. This is how on board I was. June 8th when we came on board. That was the top three. That's us. John Zaire, Dustin Mitchell, Scott Brewster. Um, I do like Scott. That's why he's not named in the suit. And there's a couple of other things that are going along with that. But immediately I started notifying everyone that there was an issue. This was my first initial email to United Games, false income claims. I don't know how many of you have emailed United Games, but how many, if you have, you've probably gotten one of the most unprofessional responses back uh, possible. So this is the email I sent them. False income claims are illegal. Once again, I'm going to request that you work with me to make your program legally compliant with the FTC. I've been doing this for months. I will not allow you or allow your company to deceive and hurt my people. We can either talk or you can continue to ignore me, and I will proceed as I feel ethically compelled to do. And I don't know what this was. Oh, yeah, this income claim says October 2016 will be our first month in business. It looks like my return on investment will be between 1,000 and 2,000%. Not bad for 1 month's work. By October 2017, be the 13th month, I will be trending toward the return on investment of 100,000 to 200,000%. Not bad for any month in business. That is absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And I mean, it's not going to happen. I am going to tell you, I am going to rain on your parade a little bit and tell you that you will not make a full-time income or even a part-time income in United Games. It is not structured to where it can pay out that way. It's not going to happen. Um, and I would advise you, if you are looking for additional income, to look elsewhere, to look at other business opportunities. At least if you're gung ho on the United Games app and that's what you want, or on the sports app and that's what you want to do, that's great. But it's going to take some time, so you might want to find something in the meantime. Oh, something I left out. Our app will also not be. It won't just be for Android and for Apple. It'll be for Android, Apple. It'll also be for all of the tablets. It'll be in the BlackBerry and the Amazon store. So, that's another one. But these are. I'm showing you the reasons why now. Uh, the red flag raisers, Max, and I like Max, but Pokemon Go, $7.5 billion, added 7.5 billion to Nintendo's value in 2 days. And it did. It added a tremendous amount of value to Nintendo's value until they found out that Nintendo didn't create it, and then it dropped. They compared to Instagram and WhatsApp. This is nothing even similar to any of these things. So you're not comparing apples to apples. You're comparing apples to like potatoes or something like that, and it's not good business. Honestly, it sort of reminds me of something Donald Trump would say in a bit. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to make Mexico pay for the wall. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, just trust me, I'm going to do it. They're going to, that wall is going to be huge, that wall, but nobody knows how they're going to do it. And the same goes with United Games. They are making all these false claims, but they have no idea how they're going to follow through with it. Let's see. I do want to go through a couple more things on the slide presentation, and then I'm going to cut this off. What is this? Give me 1 second. Have any of you actually ran the numbers of how much it would take for you to be able to have the income stream that you need in order to be able to give up your present job?
Yes.
So you understand where I'm coming from, and I'm telling you yeah, I mean the the ad. Let's say Peter, because I ran yours too, because I thought I might bring it up. The with your organization right now, was the 66. Let's say they played every single game, you would make about $17 a month.
The out of everybody in my organization, you're saying there's 150. There's about
Um,
150.
how many of them are affiliates? 66.
Oh no, 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 not even close. I have 11 affiliates. The rest are
Oh,
players.
11 affiliates. You have players. Okay, so on the player side, yes, but you also have to wonder how many of them are going to play all the time.
Right.
That comes into play too. I don't make fun of me, and I really like if you email me or message me on Facebook and make fun of me, I will come after you. Um, but I just started playing Angry Birds the other day. Now that Angry Birds is old, right? It's like 7 or 8 years old, and I finally downloaded it just because I was born or because I was bored. But then I got bored with it in about 5 minutes and I deleted it. The same goes with Trivia Crack. Actually, I really did enjoy Trivia Crack. They named that very appropriately. But uh, most people don't like to play it with me because I win too much and then they quit. So, it's just, and you have to also, you have to wonder the whole purpose of this game is also being interactive. If you aren't actively playing with other players, I mean, it's not fun to sit on your phone and call plays. You can do that at the television. They want you to be actively engaged with other players. Well,
I have a couple of decent questions, but I don't want to interrupt you. I want you to
no,
finish.
interrupt. Go for it.
Okay. Um, Regarding what you were saying about the in-app purchases of the pizza
Uh-huh.
or the app that you're developing,
For
they
mine or for
claim,
theirs?
well, I was just going to say, they claim that they have that in place already, that they have deals with local uh, pizza places and like restaurants, like they show you that barbecue joint on that little video, and they say that they have that in place for
Mhm.
in-app purchases for their advertising. They also make, I know they make a lot of claims that they haven't come through it yet, but they claim that part of their publicity budget includes the Today Show, CBS This Morning, and the two Jimmys, Fallon and Kimmel. Now, they came right out there. Madeline said that on a call, and, it would sound like it's scuttlebutt. So, I mean,
It is my opinion that Madeline is the biggest liar I have ever met in my entire life.
I don't like the way she comes off either, so I understand what you're
I
saying.
do, now I am going to say though that uh, Michael, yeah, Michael, or uh, who's the owner? See, guys, I'm getting really tired.
Jeff,
Uh, Michael, right?
I
Yeah.
think Jeff Anderson.
He's been extremely quiet on everything, and that actually makes him very brilliant um, in that regard. He's letting, and if you look at a lot of the misinformation, it doesn't come from corporate, so you can't completely blame corporate. It's affiliates who are making it up because
Yeah,
they haven't been trained properly. They've not been given the correct information
absolutely.
because there is no information to give, right? So they
All
just
they lately is tell us what we can do. This is what's getting me where I'm starting to think that something's up.
right.
It blame the affiliates every week for the last 2, 3 weeks. We get like a scolding email. Oh, you better clean up your act, man. We're like, what are we in school? It's
Well, you
ridiculous.
know what? You know what happens? Legitimate companies actually tell you what you can do before you do it. They don't make up the rules as they go along.
Yeah, they're changing rules that all the affiliates taught all of their teams for 2 months, and now they're changing rules. And again, they come out with they have very little promotional material, but they don't let you do anything on your own. And they want you, for instance, how are we supposed to go into bars and sell to
That's why I
legitimate
started.
businesses?
That's why I
Well, we
started
need
creating
to
the posters and everything for you guys with the training materials, the business cards, the uh, lead capture page. You know, I created that stuff because it didn't exist, and I knew you needed it. That's something you need as part of being in business. Period. It's
Yeah, you
just,
can't go
and
without.
that's why my response to them was when they, uh, well, they started using my graphics, but they didn't want me to do the capture
Right.
page. Well, John Zaire didn't want me to do the capture pages because for some reason he thought that I was stealing leads. Let me show you guys how these things work, how it works. Let's go here, getunitedgames.com. If you go to this, just getunitedgames.com, it's a generic page. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been there.
all the
Okay.
information, blah, blah, blah. So let's come down here. And I'll show you exactly how this works. So I'm going to put in Dustin. Email. I'm interested in both. I put test. I'm going to send this. Okay. So because this is the main page, it is actually going to go to a separate email account that I have. Now I have my own lead capture page, getunitedgames.com/Dustin, which would go right to my phone. So we had an email come up. There
Mm-hmm.
we go. Tells me no reply at United Games, so I know where it came from. Test, hopefully. UG interest, my information. So it came to a different email address than what it would if I went to my capture page.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those they don't even get sent out because unless it says if it says where if it says who referred them and they have a capture page with me, then I can forward it to them. But other than that, I mean, I'm not giving them away to people. It's not fair. At one point, I probably had close to about 170 of those emails, but I had an affiliate ask me to buy them, and that's unethical in that sense. But let's see, let's pull up.
That's the whole thing. What I don't understand. I'm sorry to interrupt again.
No, you're
With
not
this,
interrupting.
with
Fine.
this fake, with these fake names that we all know, a lot of people have been doing. Okay, too many people have 5, 10, and 20,000 people, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
way. And we know they're buying email lists and they're putting them in there. But why do they bother going through it? Because there's not really people there, and they're not going to download the game, and they ain't going to get paid. So why do they look to have 5,000 numbers on their thing that are fake numbers? And we all know, well, we're not going to talk names, but we all know who these people are. They
Yeah,
come in,
I have absolutely no idea, and I do get that
they're,
comment from a lot of affiliates. They'll contact me and they'll say every time you send me a lead, and these things come to my page. If I get them right away and I see your name on it, I forward it to you immediately. But sometimes, like in the instance, I had an affiliate today, and I don't even have to do that anymore. They've terminated me, but I'm still doing this stuff because I'm helping you. This is something that I believe I have a calling to do. But literally within 2 minutes, that person has already signed up somewhere else.
that's my other thing too. I know
So
that that's going on because I've had people respond to my ads, and when I send them a code, when I go to create them a code, it says they're already in the system. Well, if they were already in the system, why did they answer an ad and send me their information? I went to the wall what is compliance on this, and they're telling me, well, this guy signed up as an affiliate under me. He filled out a Google form that I sent him. He signed up as an affiliate under me. Right? It said on his page, referred by Peter Mazzella. They're telling me, no, his parent is Daniel Sullivan. This is all by email. I said, what does this make any sense? I have his information. If you look at his page,
policy states specifically that you have to give approval for them to move. So if they move them without your approval, that's actionable.
this
Um,
is,
just
that's what happened with this guy. They gave him back to me. But I think the guy's a fake. because he hasn't signed up anybody. He didn't even. I reach out to him. He don't get in touch with me. I think it was one of those names. But again, I go to sign. I signed the guy up. I actually did sign him up, and he ends up on someone else. How did that happen? And then they want me to get an email from the guy telling them who he signed up under. So I wrote them an email back. I said, do you think that this man is going to want to do business with an operation that he signed up with yesterday, and now they want an email saying which guy did you sign up under? I would run for the hills, I told them. And then finally they straightened it out. But again, this guy that signed up with me, for some reason, he's totally inactive, and I get affiliates like that too that I don't understand.
Yeah, it'll happen. And anytime I got a request for somebody to move, I just moved them. I mean, I just I sent an email to corporate, and half the time that stuff didn't go answered. Is Jessica? Is this you're Jessica, right? This is your site and your work with js@yahoo.com. Raise your hand. Okay, good. So let me show you how like Jessica's will work. So we'll go here, and like this is something that concerns me because there are a lot of, as soon as we came out with ours, there were a lot of other affiliates that came out with capture pages as well. I have absolutely no ability to track or to steal email. The only thing I can do is go in and track IP addresses in the event that like somebody's stalking you or whatever. So here I'm putting in my information, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to become Jessica, I'm hungry, so please bring me a pizza. In the notes, there we go. And send, boom. And it's off to Jessica. It doesn't come to me. It's going to go to her, whatever email address is on file. So, and so when people were telling me, well, I'm not getting any leads, are you giving out your page? Are you checking your junk mail, which is extremely important, because you needed to write no reply at Get United Games or whatever, if you had ours in that instance, check the junk mail. And I had a guy who had like 12 in his junk mail folder, and by that time it was too late. So, it is, it happens, but yeah. So I sort of laughed. I laugh when people, they're like, well, you're stealing leads. Well, actually, everyone in my organization, if we go back and look at that, I know them, most of them, because I've been in the industry for an extremely long time. And two, if we just pull up the tiers, because I know how to build, I'm one of the only. I never recommend it with any affiliates, and I also recommend the same with you. Don't use your holding tank, because if they are going to structure this as an affiliate program, all you're doing is really giving away money. And I wasn't so much on the networking side. I honestly, when I offered them the money that I did to buy it, when I offered them that 1.5, I really thought that they would take it, because I didn't see that they had any assets whatsoever. And when they didn't respond, they didn't respond. So, it just sort of, I think they thought maybe I was bluffing. And you can, yeah, Mackenzie's not, but you guys can text Mackenzie on here. She's known me for a very long time. I don't bluff. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, even if it, even if it's the wrong decision. Sometimes I still follow through with what I'm going to, with what I say I'm going to do, and that goes the same for helping all of you guys. If you decide that you want this webinar is not meant to dissuade you from being part of United Games, and I do not want you to think that. It's your choice. You're all adults. It's whatever you want to do. But I'm not even in the company anymore. I'm not financially connected to any of you, not even my team, but I'm still going to help them. But I think it's important for you, in case things continue to go further south, which my belief is that they will, you need to be prepared to tell your organizations and your team, the people that you've sponsored, because if this wasn't a direct sales company, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I have never in my life went back and contacted people that I sent an email to join Barnes and Noble underneath me for and apologized for something the company did. I've never felt my reputation was on the line because I went to, because eBay stopped giving, free shipping for a month. This is completely different. These people have joined because they have faith in you because you had faith in the company. You know, the schemes may purport to sell a product or a service, but they often just hide that behind their pyramid structure. I've not seen, I mean, there's not other than I've not seen anybody do anything but spend money. When they went to Las Vegas, I put on networking conventions all the time and teach people in the industry. In January, we are taking a 5-day, 6-night cruise, and I got the price to $412 per person, all inclusive for everything. And that's not that's period. But they have to go and buy a $200 ticket to the convention center in Las Vegas, which I've been at that place. It's not worth $200, and their airfare and everything. The company is using the affiliates.
That didn't seem good, and they made it seem like we had to be there. If you missed it, you're screwed.
I was there. I was there. I was not allowed in.
You play the game?
Huh?
Did you get to play the game? Like these people?
No, I was not. I was not allowed in.
Oh, no, I got you.
Which I really didn't want to come in anyway. Actually, before I left, I was joking with everyone that I would probably be in jail later that night. So if I called late to come and make sure that I was bonded out, because I had some choice words to say to a lot of them. But a lot of you are, I think most of you are friends with me on Facebook. I'd like also for you to go and take a look at something that I don't mean the webinar. What are we doing? Hold on. Exit. There we go. If you go to my Facebook page, there's an article that I wrote that very clearly defines the what a Ponzi scheme is versus a pyramid scheme. Are we still there? Okay. And if you look at it when we get there, and you can go, it's under my notes, or I'll post it on my wall. And if you really evaluate the two between what United Games is and versus other networking companies that you may have been a part of, you can see the difference. You can definitely see the difference in just how they behave. So we'll go to notes. I'll share it on my wall so that you guys can come and look at it. A while back, but pyramid schemes, here we go. So it defines what a pyramid scheme is, what the identifying characteristics are, what the warning signs are of the fraud, pressure to sign up, so come on board quickly. They did that with United Games. They wanted you to hurry up because we're going to discontinue the affiliate program this month. We're going to discontinue the affiliate program this month now. Well, we decided to keep it, but we're still going to, it was that fear of loss. These are all telltale signs, promises of extraordinarily high or guaranteed profits. It's easy to be swayed by promises of high income. I mean, when you just look at the facts of how much the average American makes, it's really sad. In the state of Missouri, I was looking at figures. The average two-parent household, so two people living in a household, their income is $28,000 a year after taxes. I don't see how they live on that. So really, they're making less than $1,000, $1,200 a month. I can't live on that a week, honestly. So I don't see how people can do that on a year. So money is a determining factor, and it's the candy that they use to get people hooked and to blind them. These scam artists try to take advantage of human vulnerabilities, which is often very easy if someone is in a situation where they need cash fast, or just, I mean, well, not if they need cash fast. Let's say they're in a situation where they have children. That's there's a human vulnerability. It's important to remember that in any business model, earning substantial sums of money requires time. There's no such thing, quick thing as or there's no such thing as quick money. Easy. I mean, you might have flash in the pan success, but it is never going to be residual, um, ever. In direct selling, it can happen fairly quickly. Um, Time varies depending on how much work you put in and whatnot. But I think in general it takes a little bit more of a shorter period of time than you would if you have a job, by all means. But let's see, we have a question, McKinsey. Oh, yeah, yeah. McKinsey pointed out the person surviving off of a Social Security check trying to seek a better life. That's actually in her case. She was in a horrible car accident a couple of years ago and completely destroyed her leg because the vehicle could have been recalled, and because the lawyer messed something up, she is on disability for the rest of her life. I think this McKinsey is like or about $700 a month. Um, that's not even rent for me or most people. So I don't see how people live off that. So the people who have Ponzi schemes, they prey on the dreams of other people. They exaggerate earning claims, and they lure other people in, and by doing that, and they're just dishonest people. They misrepresent facts, and they make everything muddy, so that if it is uh, there's no legit answer. Like, you guys saw me ask Mark today point blank if he would answer my questions, and he wouldn't do it. What is there to hide about answering legitimate questions of how are you going to pay these people? Um, why are you violating these laws? I understand that stuff. Yeah, McKinsey gives $765 a month to live off of. Um, and that's in that case. I mean, that this was an option for it. Because for a lot of people, network marketing companies, the cost is still a little prohibitive for them to come on board, even if it's just a couple $100. It's not the 1.5 to 5 million that it takes to buy a McDonald's, but still, people live paycheck to paycheck. So um, it's just when they make everything a little bit foggy, it's easier not to see what's really going on. Um, the Ponzi schemes claim that profits can be achieved easily. Um, I've not heard. I mean, I've not heard anybody with United Games say it will be difficult to earn money. But we have all these people putting in hundreds of hours. Peter, I know you put in a ton of hours. I was pissed the 2 weeks that I worked, and I only worked about 20 hours a week. So I can only imagine how mad direct selling does require work. Where I'm at my income level in Miriam, for the first couple of weeks, just to get to where I wanted to be, because I had certain goals I wanted to meet, I was working 60 hours a week. And I know I keep bringing up McKinsey because I've known her for an extremely long time, but even now, and I consider myself fairly successful, I work 60, 70, 80 hours a week on various projects, various businesses, etc. I mean, we've been on this webinar since 8:30. So, I'm not getting paid for this, but this is still work. This is me. This is what I enjoy doing. This is why I became successful in the industry that I'm in, is because I like to be able to give back. Um, if they require an initial fee, which is exceeds the market value of any product or kit or training or whatever, you're not going to get a kit. You're going to get an app. And I was looking through the app stores right before we got in the webinar, and I have not found one app that costs $39. It just, so it just doesn't happen. Or if they want you to pay large fees payable to them before they receive anything, they want this $7.5 million before they even give you an app. And I mean, they can quote me on this, and I'm sure they're going to watch this, and you can have your fake lawyer call mine. I don't even think that they have an app. I think they're going to try to use the affiliates' money to finance and bankroll their business, and that's completely unethical. They've not provided disclosure documents, and everything that I've asked them for, they have ignored, or they just flat out won't provide it. When Roger Ullman called me right before I did that last webinar 2 months ago, his statement to me was that they wanted to work with me, and that's why that webinar was a little confusing, because I was still going to point out the faults that I saw, but I had word from him that they were going to change what needed to be changed. So I didn't want to come out completely anti United Games. So at the end, that's why it sort of went, and people are like, well, are you for it or against it? I'm like, well, I'm just pointing out what's wrong. And they said they would fix it, but they haven't made any attempts. They've not contacted me whatsoever. Only thing I received from them was a letter, which I'll put that on the internet too. It was typed, it wasn't even signed, and it was an absolute joke when I read it. They were telling me not to defame them. Nothing in that first webinar defamed them at all. All I did was bring up facts, things that should have been stated way before they even got into business. And I didn't say anything disparaging whatsoever about any of the executives, because I really was hoping that they were going to change things. What I'll say now is that I believe that at least 3 of the executives that I have communicated with are in it for themselves and for their money, and they don't give a fuck about you guys. And I believe that the company is hiding a ton from all of you. So, those are the warning signs. Those are the warning signs of fraud. That's why if you guys want the booklets that I'll send you are actually from the Federal Trade Commission. I requested them from them on spotting these small business scams and things like that. When you look at this stuff and you put it in perspective, well, why $29 or 30? Now it's 39, but why $29? Because most people aren't going to care if they lose 29 bucks. They're not going to go to the feds for losing $29. They're just going to write it off. I, on the other hand, care about all of you and about the other 250,000 that they claim to have. I'll go to the feds. I'm not going to let them get away with it. So, a fraudulent salesperson may be prepared to give you all kinds of assurances and look you in the eye and tell you that they're telling you the truth, and give you false documents, which in that case I'm going to say that demo. My tech, the head of my tech department, George, he could put together one of those demo videos like you had it in Las Vegas in about 5 hours. Completely different than actually developing an app that works. I could probably do it. Honestly, I might even try to do it. So,
can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Now, the people, the affiliates, okay, that paid to go to this dog and pony show in Las Vegas, they claim that they played this app for 15 minutes each.
There was not an app. It was a demo. It was not the game. It was. This is sort of what it will work like.
Oh, so it was not the actual game.
No.
And that's the thing that you say you could put together. Well, not you. That your app team could put together in a couple of hours. Something that would play like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand. I had two other questions. I've been jotting down notes. Now,
So,
I know that Regis office thing. Very smart of you to run that down, and that's you showed us that the first time. But I could kind of understand why a company would use that. I mean, that's why
on
they
the office side, I
yeah,
understand too, but
you
why
know, they
lie
trying
about
to
it?
put out a grand image, and they don't want to tell you they're working out of a guy's house, but it's just an app development. They really don't need that grand office, so they put that out. That's kind of like publicity. I could almost understand that.
Well,
And,
the thing with those Regis office buildings is they actually do have use of it if they need the conference rooms or whatever like that.
yeah, they
But
rent them.
I remember being on a call where they told us how many all these developers were in the office upstairs in the conference room, and they had filled it. You don't need to go to that extent. Um, I honestly could care less if they were renting out a warehouse.
Yeah,
I've
hear
owned
you.
some very large companies, and the offices look like absolute trash on the outside.
It could be in the garage. I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
exactly. But don't lie about it. What you set in motion is going to carry in motion. So these people, you're setting expectations for your field of something that doesn't even exist.
Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak well.
So, I mean, I would have appreciated them 100 times more if they would have been in a small little strip mall office and said, "This is our office. This is, it
It's
costs a
all the
lot of money
space
for
we
us to
need.
build this stuff.
Yeah, it's all the space we need.
You
Yeah,
don't need a grandiose upfront sort of larger than life image
because I
when
often question that from the affiliates when they said, "I've been to the corporate office in Utah," and in my head I'm saying, "But I know it's a fake," and I
they
guess
probably have been there and they've just maybe
they
rented out
probably,
extra space.
yeah, they set up a
I
couple.
honestly, as a joke, thought about renting out a space there and going in
You
there.
told me that the first line. I thought that was very funny, so you could
Yeah,
understand.
I still might, but when you're looking at pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes. I don't like the word pyramid because really everything's a pyramid in a sense. But Ponzi, um, by the time most people figure out that there's a problem and that it's going to collapse, the people who have made their money, they're long gone. You're never going to see them again.
That was, but
My whole purpose in bringing this to light as quickly as I did is because I'm going to make sure that they aren't able to run off.
okay.
You
I
are going to get hurt. You're not going to get compensated for the amount of time that you put in. Even with me naming the executives, they can file bankruptcy just as easily on the LLC and individually. I mean, I'm asking for $150 million. I will be surprised on on the class action, depending on how many people decide to join, if we walk away with 100 apiece, $100.
and that's when it's an LLC. They're limiting their liability.
Yeah, and it's just they did it smart, but I'm going to make sure that I'm going to limit the amount of money that they are able to take from you all. They're already depriving you of time from your family, friends, hobbies, etc. To
That's,
me, time is actually more important than money in a lot of instances.
yeah, I agree 100% with that. That I agree 100%. The fact that they're not taking money until the app releases. What do you think about that, though?
I believe that that will probably change also. Um, I believe that will change as well.
Set of charges and saying you have to come out.
I'm waiting for them to come up with another way to charge you for something. Um, I mean, they made some money off of the event and whatnot. I would honestly love for them to charge all of you the $39 tomorrow, because then we have legitimate we have actual damages. It's not just punitive, which is what your time is worth right now at this point.
That's why I think I'm pretty sure they won't do that because they know. They even say it in there in some of their presentations. We can't legally charge you until the app launches. They make it a point to say that. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, they can legally charge you, but whether or not they would get away with it is a completely different story. They do know that I have the FTC watching them, as well as the Attorney General for the state of Utah. So they're under the microscope, which is definitely why they hate me. I don't quite understand why they didn't terminate me immediately as soon as I came out with that last webinar, instead of waiting for me to get the lawsuit ready. Um, but that's why I think they thought maybe I was bluffing. But as whatever comes along, I personally do not believe they have anything. Um, but I am like I told you, we are developing ours, and I would still be more than happy to buy the network that they've developed. You guys have done an amazing job of developing a network. It's just that it would not be an affiliate program. It would have to be restructured as a to where there's a multi-level marketing compensation structure in there, and you're paid a couple different ways so that you actually do receive true residual income.
The way that this is set up, you said, there's no way that they could come up with these numbers.
If they terminate the affiliate program, I will file suit right away.
I mean, they're saying they're freezing it. They won't use the name terminate. They keep
Yeah, they
saying,
won't. Yeah, and they also said they were going to, but you can't turn it on and off because you're hurting the people at the bottom.
yeah. I don't understand how they expect us to land affiliates when the affiliates are being cut off in 2 weeks. People have no time to build a team.
It will not be cut off in 2 weeks. It won't be. Um, yeah, they won't cut it off in 2 weeks. They said they were going to cut it off the second week of September. They won't do it.
Let me share a little something with you right now. This is I have the guy who got me into this. His name is Marty DeGamo. He's pretty big fish in this. Not as big as some of these guys, but he's got numbers something like yours, okay? And I told him, I said, have you ever heard of Dustin Mitchell? Just today, I told him. I said, because he's having a webinar. He said, oh, that guy sues everybody. He said, so I wrote that, LOL. I said, but he makes some decent points, and I figured you might want to get in on it here. He says, oh, don't let anybody hear him about that. They don't like him. I forget what was his. Oh, he says to me, listen to this. He says, Chivas told me. Chivas is one of these top affiliates. He says Chivas told me he's a convicted felon. You got to watch out for him. I said, it's funny you said that, because on Chivas' live post on Friday, he said he was a convicted felon, and he turned his life around. I said, so what? That doesn't make him a bad guy, does it? He says that you're not to trust you. But meanwhile, Friday, he said during his, he had a motivational little thing, and he says, I had bad problems. I had problems with the law. I was looking at bad time. And now he wants to say, talk about popcorn and kettle. And I don't know it to be true about you, but I know it to be true about Chivas because he said it.
One of my funniest things to do when people tell me that I sue a lot of people. I really don't sue a lot of people. I'm in business. Sometimes it's required for me to defend my people and my company, and sometimes we have to go to court. But in instances when I have received a judgment, I donate it, and I have it's on my taxes to prove it. So I won a lawsuit just a couple months ago that had been pending for a very long time, and that money went to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northern Texas. So I'm comfortable where I'm at. I don't need to sue people to get money. That's not a profession for me. If my company's in danger, my people are in danger, or if I feel I need to stick up for people, I will seek legal remedies. But trust me, so far I've paid out. Let me look. I think I have paid out somewhere in the realm. Because I've got to send this to my. Well, all right, no, all right. So U.S. District Court, the filing fee would have been 400, but I didn't pay that yet. It's somewhere in the realm of I think 13,000 legal fees so far. I could have walked away at the 39.99.
No, actually, you could have got it back. They wouldn't even have charged you yet.
What was that?
You wouldn't even have to pay the $39.99. Actually, you would have walked away.
Yeah, and it's going to be considerably more by the time I'm done. You know, because nobody. I'm saying you guys can join the class action. I'm the one that's paying.
No, I understand.
And so it's just so let him question my motives as much as he wants. I don't really give a fuck.
I laughed him off. I question his the whole up and up thing with him and his whole team. Because I sent you that email this week. Yeah, I forwarded it to you, and ever since that email came out, they got quiet like that. They reminded me of gangsters when an indictment comes out. Everybody hit the road. Nobody was on social media. Nobody was addressing it. Then after about 2-3 days, they all came back. Oh no, don't worry. That was just a thing. We're all okay. Blah blah blah. But everybody was. Everybody was heading. No, I'm saying after the slash, they sent an email and everybody that email that I showed you.
Yeah.
These guys are buying email lists and they're signing up planes. And again, I don't know how. Well, now that I talk to you, now I know how. How does it help them? It's building up these ridiculous numbers that's what's making people join in, and the people at the
Well,
top.
they're putting them in their holding tank, and and then they'll say, well, I'll put all these people underneath you, but it really doesn't matter because they're not going to get paid off of it.
They're not real people.
Yeah. So it's smoke and mirrors once again. It's muddying water, making people think that they're going to get something that they're not.
Yeah, you're opening my eyes as I talk. I see what you're saying now, and I didn't understand another part, but I understood it just now as we were talking. Absolutely. One other question I had regarding what you were just saying. All of those, pretty much every ad in any of these business groups is the same thing as what you're saying. They're all in violation of the Federal Trade Commission laws if they were to be prosecuted. They all tell you that all you need is a one-time payment of $19, and they're going to make that a fortune. Everyone.
A company, a lot of them are in violation. A lot of them are in violation, but it just sort of it depends, and that's why I've written
on the amount of complaints, probably.
Stuff. This your friend that said that
I got my friend just he's an upline guy.
Screenshot that right there,
okay.
And tell him that's where that lawsuit money went.
I will.
There's my attorney blind for that one too. So,
actually, I'm going to keep this quiet because this guy is a rat bastard, and I'm going to stick around over there for a little while, and I ain't going to get thrown out.
Well, they can't throw you out unless you are doing in some way defaming them. I don't know why they actually removed McKinsey, and we're going to have to look into that because that unless she violated some sort of condition, they had no right to do it. So.
Yes, too. I mean, they changed these conditions at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, which they have to make available to you as well. So, there's a lot of stuff. But as far as like Vima, I don't know if you've heard of that company. They were a pretty bad company, but there are a lot of good ones too. And unfortunately, it gives the industry itself a bad name.
And I'm going to explain to you this game gives me a bad name, and I was going to try and do this on the side and start a little thing, and I gave it a lot of time, took a lot of courses, spent a lot of my time reading and watching stuff, and I learned some stuff. I learned how to do some stuff the right way, how to do some stuff the wrong way. But all the people I sold this United Games to, all the people I sold this dream to, well, they're all fucked, and they ain't gonna come back to me. So now, not only I learned the skill that I won't even be able to apply in the future.
They will, and this is in, I'll sort of end this with this suggestion, and you can do it if you like, or whatever. They will trust you if you show that you're taking an interest in making sure that they're being protected as well. So the site is not up yet, but it will be by tonight. So tomorrow they can go to it. If the it is hold on, let me look. Sorry, let me email quick. I just bought the domain, and it's solely for them to put in their name and their contact information if they would like to be a member of the class action. That's the way that we can. Really, the only way that we can come out on top of this is for as many people to join this suit as part of the class action as possible.
And if we join the class action, then we're out of United Games.
They don't know. I'm not disclosing that.
Okay. And then you said the only way that they would that we'd be violating United Game terms would be if we badmouth them. But I'm still selling for them. I'm not badmouthing them. I just wanted to.
Right. No. Yeah. It's privileged information. They're not going to. Nobody's going to know who's on there. I'm the main plaintiff and et al. So. They would have to actually file for discovery after the lawsuit is filed, and at that point, I would hope that the judge would have issued an injunction shutting them down. They'll be able to go to jointhesuit.com.
www.jointhesuit.com.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then and then suggests that they go to the Dustin Mitchell versus UnitedGames.com site too and whatnot. And I'll be putting up calls and things of that nature. But here's the thing, and explain it to them this way. I was on the same bandwagon that you're on. I jumped at it as soon as I saw it because I love the concept. It really is a brilliant concept if it would just be put through the correct system. So, well, I'm going to. You said we're about 2 hours.
So if I look out for the affiliates and they don't get hurt financially, they would be open to maybe doing this.
$39. They're not going to care honestly about $39. If they know you're looking out for them, they're going to trust you. I mean, I've made bad business decisions, but as long as I have come to them as soon as I possibly can and, took the steps in order to be able to make sure everything was going to be rectified and that they were going to be taken care of, I have never had that turn around on me once.
Good advice. I understand why.
People want to be shown that you care. That's why they're part of these sort of companies in the first place.
That's true.
So,
yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm going to finish. Actually, I'm just going to read you guys a poem that I really like, and then we'll close up because we're going on about 2 hours. It's called "The Man in the Glass." You've probably heard it before. That McKinsey says you'll gain respect by letting them know. In this instance, and just so you know, if you guys have pens out, let me go ahead and give you my numbers again. You can call me anytime you want. People from all over the world are finding my number from the webinar on YouTube and calling me at ungodly hours. So you guys can definitely call. Just don't be creepy. Don't like at 4 a.m. be like, I saw your YouTube video. I had somebody do that, and that was a little creepy.
Yeah, I would never do that.
What? You realize it's 4 a.m? He was calling from Uganda or something like that, though. So my office number, 469-970-6676.
Got it.
And then my cell phone, if you guys don't have that, it's 469-642-5111. And then my email, of course, is dustin@networkmarketinginc.com. So here's the poem, and then we'll finish up. And if you guys need anything else, you call me back tonight or text me or whatever. I'll be up. I have work to do. So this is called The Man in the Glass. I don't know if you've heard it before, but here's what it says. It says, when you get what you want and struggle for self, and the world makes you a king for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that man has to say. For isn't your father or mother or wife whose judgment upon you must pass? The fellow whose verdict counts most in your life is the one who's staring back from the glass. You may be like Jack Horner and chisel a plum and think you're a wonderful guy, but the man in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. He's the fellow of peace, never mind all the rest, and he's with you clear to the end. And you've passed your most dangerous, difficult test if the man in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down a pathway of years and get pats on the back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartache and tears if you've cheated the man in the glass. That's why I'm doing what I do for you guys.
Much appreciated.
I know I can look at myself in the mirror every day and know that I'm doing my best to help you.
Much
I
appreciated.
would hate to be the people that are trying to steal this money from you and be how they feel. Be in that position.
All right. Much appreciated. Bill Parcells was the first one that turned me on to that poem.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Bill Parcells, when he coached the Giants, was the one that turned me on to that poem. He would tell that to the players.
Yeah, I know. I try to watch your sports. I live vicariously through sports through you. I get the updates on my phone.
I can do enough of that for you, I guess. Dustin, I thank you so much for everything, man. You're a really cool guy, and I appreciate all your help. And,
no problem. And like I said, this will be reposted. This will be on www.unitedgamesmarketingscam.com, so people will be able to watch it. And then they can go tomorrow. Anyone who's interested in the class action can go tomorrow to jointhesuit.com and just put in their information. Completely confidential. I'm the only one that receives it, and it'll go to my attorneys. And then, as things progress, they'll also be added to a mailing list. So they'll get updates. I'm not going to do any more webinars. I might do maybe private phone calls, but that's about it. Good. Because at this point, I've said all I can say. People are going to believe what they want to believe.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot again. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
No problem, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time, and thanks for also having faith in me.
Thanks for helping us.
And have a great night.